Welcome to PNRShow Season 2, Episode 16, BYOBobless.
I'm better looker than mine. I'll take a strong stout over Sprite. I prefer to confer with a half pint of ale and live a long life till my private parts fail. For life without liquor is to no avail. So bring me lager for mine. I'd rather have lager than mine. I'll take a strong stout.
Hello, everyone. It is time for your weekly adventure in beer and other craziness. This is the PNR Show, Pint of No Return Show, Season 2, Episode 16. We are Robless this week because of scheduling snafus and stray space lasers that may or may not have taken him out while he was sleeping. But we have back from the family tragedy that was last week. We have Gary with us and Jeremy, who says we're frozen. Hi, guys.
Hi, Rob. Hey, I'm sorry. You're not Rob. You're Keith.
I'm not Rob. I am the only one on the podcast with a 100% attendance record. That's right. You guys can't do the show without me, so I'm on every damn show.
Literally cannot do the show.
Yes, literally. I am the George Jetson of the show. I am the one who presses the button that gets the whole thing started.
Yeah, you've made yourself indispensable.
Somehow, much to my own dismay.
Which is a good strategy in the workplace, by the way.
Yeah, well,
sometimes
that happens. So yeah, I'm back. I actually was just at a track meet last week for my daughter, who was had her last one of the year, and I hadn't been to any, so I was trying to go see her. And we arrived right after she finished her race. So
awesome.
It was great.
Well played, Dad.
Yeah, I did a good job.
Father's reward.
I made up for it last night by driving her through the worst traffic ever conceived of by man to get to a concert. So, I'm the positive side of the parenting karma scale after last night. So that's good.
Positive side. Excellent. So, Jeremy, where are you on the parenting karma scale?
I'm probably way up there. I don't have any kids, so
therefore you can do no wrong.
I can do no wrong.
You're just crazy Uncle Jeremy.
Yeah.
He stops in, gives everybody a quarter, and takes off again.
Get them all hopped up on caffeine and sugar and leave.
Yeah.
I'm not anywhere near a positive side, I don't think. I have a preteen daughter who just yells at me most of the time, and a 3-year-old who also coincidentally just yells at me most of the time. So.
Yeah, when kids get to be teenagers, they are very, very similar to like a 2-year-old. They like kind of regress.
I'm kind of noticing that now. The two kids, when they play together, act like each other. The 3-year-old takes on annoying, like, holier-than-thou teenager traits, and the teenager just becomes a 3-year-old again. So it's wonderful in my house.
Yeah, that's great. So we should probably get on to the business at hand, though, right?
Well, I was just going to say that was going to be my big transition. Is there is beer that saves us all.
There is.
So tonight we've got all kinds of beers. I said in the pre-show that it would be 3 guys and 3 beers, but it's going to be 3 guys and 4 beers. And if you count all 32 ounces of Apocalypse that I'm going to try to drink,
that's only 22.
22 ounces of 9.3% beer. It might as well be 4 beers.
I have a makeup
6
beer.
beers. Who knows?
I have the habanero sculpin from last week that I was not able to drink on the show because I wasn't here. So
that was a great beer.
I'll be drinking that, and I also have the Pine Drops IPA from Deschutes, which I guess is a seasonal of theirs. I'm thinking I'm going to drink the Pine Drops first because I'm assuming, based on the reactions from last week's show, that once I have the habanero sculpin, my taste buds will be done, and I won't be able to rate anything else after that. So.
See, I was thinking I'd go the other way so that you'd have something else to wash down the habanero should you find it to be too much. But
that's true. I I already know how I would rate the Pine Drops based on its own because I've had it. This is like bottle 5 out of a 6-pack. So
Well,
all
then,
right,
yeah, by all means, have the habanero first.
I will do that.
Get it unadulterated, and then you can use the pine drops to wash it away.
Good call.
So, anyway, I'm gonna pour this bad boy. Jeremy, what are you drinking tonight? Jeremy's gone. Jeremy got booted.
Jeremy got booted. He's drinking Great White because he missed that show like I did, and he's drinking I think the Equinox from Lagunitas. So hopefully he will be back on before too long. But we can I don't know, maybe fill the gap. Oh, there he is. There's Jeremy, just in time. There he's gone. He must be on a really bad Wi-Fi connection or something.
Yeah, I don't know. He did walk through the house to see if he could get into a better spot before.
Yeah. So
that's all right. There's 2 of us and 3 good beers, so that's where we need to be.
We're in good shape. So I've had a busy week, and since I'll just kill some time and bore everybody with my week. I went down to San Jose to see U2 on Tuesday night. That was pretty amazing. And then like I said,
pictures were pretty impressively close.
Yeah, we got right up against the stage. Which is if you've seen this, it's a long stage, so we got right up against it. So it was pretty fun. It was one of the best experiences I've had at a concert because of where we were. So that's fun. But Jeremy's back to tell us about his beer.
What are you drinking, Jeremy?
First up is Great White from Lost Coast Brewing. I think you guys did this a couple weeks ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we did.
All right. We're ready to drink. I was killing time till you got back in.
So I would say, and he's gone.
All right.
Well, let's drink anyway. If we got to push on with the show, we're never going to get done.
Cheers. Holy hell. Holy crap. Wow.
Watching last week's show didn't do it justice, did it? You still were surprised.
Oh. That'll put some hair on your chest.
I find that as it develops, though, it gets a little more bearable, and you get this nice smoky chili flavor that comes out of the habanero side.
Whew. That has got some kick to it.
It makes you want nachos, doesn't it?
What?
How long does it take to get to Lily Cut?
To get there?
Yeah.
Where is it? Oh, like 15 minutes. Okay, sorry. Okay. Sorry, my daughter's going to pick takeout. This is, wow.
Jeremy, you missed Gary's reaction to the habanero.
It's, I actually could smell the habanero, but it does smell like a regular, like Ballast Point IPA. Like I've had their grapefruit sculpin, and the nose has some very distinct similarities to that. Excuse me while I tear up here for a second. And it's really weird because it's cold and refreshing, and then a half a second later, it smacks you upside the head, and tells you what's wrong with the world.
Whispers in your ear all of the evils.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's like you're drinking an IPA, and then all of a sudden, some magic happens, and you're sucking on a pepper.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, it's got some heat to it. I've had some spicy beers in the past. I think probably the best spicy, habanero pepper-styled IPA that I've had came out of Boneyard Brewing, their El Diablo. That's really good because it's a really mellow habanero flavor, but it's still got some heat to it. This is all about the heat. And yeah, but it's good. It's different. It's not a normal IPA. But if you like spicy foods or spicy things, this is one you got to try. I'd give this an 8 just on its uniqueness and the just being something different and kind of pushing the edge and trying to experiment and come up with something different.
Yeah, I thought it was really well balanced for the amount of heat in it, which was, is kind of unique. So it's probably the best of the pepper beers I've ever had. Most of them are like beer and then pepper. This is kind of, it balances it, it melds it. It kind of takes you on a journey.
Yeah, this is weird. It's almost got like that kind of more fresh peppery flavor that you get like out of a salsa, not like a cooked pepper or chipotle, like those kinds of things. This has kind of got that kind of earthy taste to it, not like a real processed taste. It's not like they just squirted juice in there. It's like they actually probably to me, it tastes like they use real, actual peppers, not just juice.
I think they may have smoked them, but a few of them. But yeah, I think they threw whole habaneros into the batch.
Yeah,
I actually liked it so much that when I found Ballast Point at one of my favorite beer stores this week, I picked up a 6-pack of the regular Sculpin just to see what it was like. And that's actually a really good IPA too. It's not as good as the habanero. Overall, as far as just a plain up IPAs go, I probably give it a 6 or 7, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I kind of want to try the rest of the Ballast Point line now.
They make some solid beers. I like them. I like the Sculpin. It's a few of their beers because they're down in San Diego area, so we get their beers up here. But the one ding I have with Ballast Point is that the price to what you get ratio is pretty whacked.
It is.
It's pretty spendy beer. And there's a lot of really, really, really good single IPAs that you can get that'll cost you, $3 or $4 a 6-pack less.
It was once it made it out here, and maybe it's the same prices as out there, but once it made it out here to the East Coast, it was like $15 a 6-pack.
Yeah, that's what it is here.
Yeah, it was pretty pricey.
Yeah, I usually don't buy it. Like I said, I got their grapefruit, and I got this one for the show because mainly I picked this one for Rob, because I knew he'd appreciate it. But yeah, I usually don't buy their beers just because they are a little bit more spendy. Like I said, I would rather get some other beers that I know are going to be even better.
I don't mind a spendy beer when the quality's there with it, but this is not. I would say this is a good beer. It's just not a $15 6-pack beer.
Yeah, the Sculpin,
but the habanero is the
habanero at $15 back. I think is it was the same price as regular Sculpin. I think maybe $1 more. I think it's worth it because it is something quite unique, and it does keep getting better. So, man, that's a good one. So since Jeremy's having all kinds of cable internet issues, it appears he just sent message on the room and said he's out. So I guess it's your turn to drink up on that apocalypse.
I am, and I have been. In fact, I've killed about half the bottle already in that discussion. This is a really good double IPA. Yeah, it's going down way too fast. For 100 plus IBUs, I find it to be slightly on the mild side. I expected it to be really over the top bitter, but it's not. It's nice and bright and crisp, with hints of bitter, but it's not over the top bitter. In fact, I'd say it's less bitter than a Pliny. But it's good. It's really good, or at least or perhaps it's just mellowed out because I've held it for a little while. And maybe it's better, a little fresher. Let's see. Was there a date on this thing? There isn't. So.
I picked it up in the end of January, so
it shouldn't be that bad yet. I wouldn't think it would mellow that much yet. It is really good though. It's surprisingly smooth, which is why it's going down so fast for me. And it puts a nice creamy head on it every pour, which is neat too. So that's kind of nice. I like that. I give this as a double IPA. This is a solid 8. I don't like it as much as Pliny the Elder or like some of the Oscar Blues and stuff that I really, really like for my doubles, but this is really good. It's really good. I would not turn it down were it to meet me in a back alley.
No. Apocalypse is definitely one of my favorite double and triple IPAs. I've had it on tap at the brewery, and I had a growler of it, which is when I did the show with, when I did this one when we did a BYOB.
That's right, you did. Didn't you do it like last summer, into last summer or something?
No, it was when I picked up that bottle for you. I saved a bottle.
Oh, really?
I filled up my growler there, so I rated it a 10. Maybe because I have had it on tap, but I do really like it. It's a seasonal release for Drake's that comes out for Strong Beer Week in San Francisco. So
I think the only thing
January.
I found it lacking a little bit, and it's not really lacking because the balance is really good where it is now, but it does claim to be 100 plus IBUs, and I don't.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Buying that. Yeah, I'm not buying that. It doesn't quite have the pop to be that. Jeremy, yes, we can see you. We've seen you every time, and then just before I cut to you, you leave. So
we'll just say goodbye now. So next time you drop
goodbye,
off.
Jeremy.
All right, good show. Thanks, guys.
What do you think of what you're drinking? You drinking the Great White?
Yeah, this is a Great White, and I've had it before. I think I had it actually the week that you guys did it on the show. I was up in Eureka. It's all right. It's not a bad beer. It's not particularly delicious to me. They call it a wit beer, and
we found it lacking in the wit department too, if I remember right.
Yeah, it's very American. It's like an American Hefeweizen. It doesn't have those nice banana clove notes that some wits will have. So if it had that, I think I'd prefer it more. I give it a 5. It's not bad. It's not great. It's just an average beer.
If I remember right, it was a little heavy-handed with the coriander spice, and without the Belgian yeast, it didn't quite balance out right.
Yeah, it's not quite right.
No, but it wasn't bad.
But I can power through it quickly and get to the Lagunitas.
Nice.
It doesn't look like you guys put that one in the spreadsheet. What did you and Rob rate that one? Because I certainly went back and watched the shows.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I'd have to go back and look. I don't think we were. I think we were in the 5-6 range.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
To me, that's kind of a. It's one of those beers that is a good kind of crossover beer. So if you have friends or people that like the big, Bud, Coors, Miller type of beers, Great White is one that they will tend to like if you offer them as a craft brew. So.
You have friends that like those beers?
I do. I do have friends that.
Hey, I've been drinking PBR all week, which might be why the Apocalypse tastes so good.
I kind of like PBR.
I do like PBR actually.
That's because you're a hipster.
Spot for it. Yeah,
there's something about if you're gonna have a cheap adjunct lager thing in the summertime, PBR is the one to go to. It's just crisp and clean and it works.
I grew fond of it when I was doing a lot of work on my house with a friend because we could drink it. We could drink it all day and it's
and use power tools at the same time.
Yeah, it's a session. It's the original session beer.
And I still have all my fingers though.
Yeah, it's what happens when your beer is 90% water.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm going to change my rating on this beer to a 9. I'm really liking the habanero.
See, I told you, as it goes along, it gets better and better. I think you have to let the first half of the beer kill your taste buds, and then the ones that survive really like it.
It's got a lot of complexity because it's got that habanero. It hangs around for a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the best Ballast Point beer that I have had.
It's not like other chili beers, is it?
No, it's all heat.
Most chili beers taste like a Bud or a Coors with jalapenos dumped into them. So the beer isn't there, and it's all about spice. Yeah. But this one seemed to be really balanced with the spice and a good beer behind it. Mm-hmm. I liked that beer a lot.
Yeah. We really liked it. Rob really hated it, which was just awesome.
He really
hated it. He might have rather had a Pliny.
That's saying. I picked this beer with him in mind because I knew that there would be opposite ends of the spectrum. I knew that there would be Rob because it's an IPA and it's a Ballast Point, so it's going to have a lot of the flavors that he doesn't like. Because I had their other IPAs, so I knew that. And then you had Jeremy, who I knew likes spice. So I figured that Jeremy would probably like it, although it could have been like those other beers Jeremy was describing, but I figured it would just be a great beer for Rob to review, and then we would have Jeremy to balance him out. So.
The funny thing was both Rob and I had almost identical reactions in the beginning. It was that it was so much of a shock to our system that we both didn't know what to do except laugh. This is the first beer that I took a sip of that made me laugh out loud.
The reactions on that were great. I watched. It was awesome.
And both Rob and I would laugh. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, you need to go back and not just listen to our last episode, but go catch it on YouTube so you can actually see us on camera. Nearly crying in laughter with just trying to understand this beer at first sip. And then slowly I started to love it, and then Rob just slowly, continued to hate it.
Man, I'm getting this really strong kind of the best way I can describe it is grassy. But if you've ever had like really
like a fresh pepper, like right out of the garden.
Fresh pepper, like right out of the garden, it's got that kind of earthy, grassy flavor to it, and this beer, the aftertaste of it, has that aspect to it, and it's not something I've ever tasted in a liquid. It's always been like with like a fresh salsa or something like that you get that flavor. So kudos to Ballast Point for being able to replicate something that
Don't you just want some like nice like queso fresco melted over the top of that beer?
Some point, yeah.
I mean, you do. You just want like melted cheese and like maybe a salty chip to go into the beer with.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's that good.
It's that good.
Oh, all right. So we're through our first beers, which means we must have something else to talk about.
Yeah, you guys put together a doc. I haven't looked at it, but it surprised me. What are we talking about tonight?
Well, let's talk about serve me up a venti IPA with no whip.
Minty IPA.
Venti. I'm not saying that right. You ever go to Starbucks? You know those people order the crazy drinks?
Yeah, the Venti latte, half calf, no foam.
With a twist of lemon, yeah. So apparently, Starbucks is going to be trying their after hours thing. So they're going to start staying open later to serve wine, beer, and appetizers. And they're doing a test of this at some stores. And here in Petaluma, we have it's a relatively new Starbucks. We've had a lot of Starbucks, but the newest Starbucks, I should say, is kind of in the middle of town on a very busy street. So they're gonna try this out here as one of the select stores to kind of pilot Starbucks program of serving beer and wine. I'm not sure. It doesn't say what time they're going to start. It doesn't say what kind of beer, what kind of wine. But beer, wine, and appetizers later in the day is I guess Starbucks' newest ploy at trying to pull people into their stores. And yeah, so Petaluma is going to get one of those the test locations. So a small number of Bay Area locations, including Petaluma. So,
all right, so Gary, what you need to do is, you need to check this out with a little video or do a little video review. We want to see a Starbucks pulling beers.
Well, what I should do is go there on when we're going to do the show and actually,
do it from there.
Their Wi-Fi and do the show from there.
Yeah, we can do that.
If that'll work. So yeah, I'm interested to see. I mean, because Starbucks, obviously they've been around for a long time, serving up lots of different kinds of coffee and other, very fattening, sugary, like blended drinks with ice in them, and also lots of pastries. But they're a coffee company. That's their business. They're the McDonald's of coffee. It's just kind of interesting to see them.
They are McDonald's of coffee.
McDonald's of coffee. I haven't heard them referred to that, but it's very apropos.
Yeah, they're everywhere. What was the dog show movie, Best in Show, where the couple met each other because they were at Starbucks that were across the street from each other, and they saw each other through the windows from their respective Starbucks, and that's how they met. It's very funny. Just kind of interested to hear your thoughts on Starbucks branching out into beer and wine. Does that fit with what they're doing, and what is going to compel people to go have a beer or a glass of wine at Starbucks versus a wine bar or a brew pub or something?
What I think is interesting. It's certainly I can see it happening because they're, the whole coffee thing, especially here on the East Coast, really kind of ends around early afternoon. I mean, everybody kind of has their last cup. If they take a late lunch, they might have their last cup around 1 or 2. And that's pretty much it. There's not too many coffee addicts that'll get a cup of coffee on the way home. And I think that's a little different on the West Coast, or certainly in the Northwest. But around here, coffee kind of dies out until it becomes like an after-dinner thing. Occasionally you'll get a coffee. But I don't see people going out to Starbucks after dinner to get coffee. So they kind of need something to keep that later end of the store open, a reason for it to be open later in the afternoon. And they've kind of tried the whole frozen drink thing, which kind of works in the summertime, almost like, you can almost go there and get a milkshake at this point.
Yeah,
But craft beer and maybe wine, and I don't know what they're going to do for appetizers, because they really can't do anything fresh cooking there. So
this
I'm
says
imagining gourmet pretzels at this point.
what the examples they gave are truffle mac and cheese.
Oh, really?
Truffle.
So they are going to cook.
Parmesan crusted chicken skewers and grilled vegetables with lemon aioli.
Well, I can guarantee you that any one of those dishes is going to cost as much as a meal. Any one of those appetizer orders is going to cost as much as a meal at another restaurant, because I'm pretty sure their biscotti costs like $6.
Yeah.
But I can kind of see it. Now, what'll be interesting to see is if because Starbucks tends to brand their own things. So it'll be interesting to see, is Starbucks going to come out with their own brand of wine and or craft beer, and is it going to be any good?
That's a good point.
Probably and no.
Probably and no. Wine in a box.
I mean, you go to things like Trader Joe's, and they've got their own brands of craft brew and stuff. It seems like something like that could be rebranded for Starbucks.
I mean, Firestone Walker does a lot of brewing for a lot of different people. They're a contract brewer, so they brew their own stuff. But a lot of I think even maybe Trader Joe's and some of those other companies are using companies like Firestone Walker to brew their store brand stuff. So or other larger craft brewers will do that as well. So it'll be interesting. What to me where I think Starbucks is actually getting smart about this is that the location that they've chosen for Petaluma to me isn't the best location, because they have a location in downtown Petaluma, and to me that would be the perfect spot. But Starbucks in general has a lot of really good prime real estate in high traffic areas.
Sure.
So I'm thinking of like in downtown San Francisco, or pick any major city, Los Angeles, New York, Philadelphia, Boston, whatever. They probably have some of the best real estate for that after work crowd. So they could pull in a lot of people that are commuters and that aren't driving home from work, that are riding a train or a bus or whatever. Hey, let's go meet at Starbucks and have a drink after work, and then we'll head home. So I think they could be tapping into a market that could generate them a fair amount of business.
The interesting thing about that too is because there's more and more. Although personally I don't understand it, there's more and more people who don't drink or don't drink very much out there too, that like to go out and hang out, and this gives you a place you can go with those friends where they can get a coffee or another beverage and not feel like they're being left out.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
And while you have your beer too, so it's kind of an interesting little mixer place that might be primed to do it. Now I wonder what. I mean, they really could kick ass with this right away if they concentrated locally at each store that they do it with.
Yeah.
They're really going to do local beers, I think, because I can see them coming in with Sam Adams and saying that that's their craft brew selection is, Sam Adams
that's not going to work.
And Shock Top and and
one thing
calling it their craft brew selection, and I don't think that's going to cut it, guys. So
I'm not sure if they would do that, because Starbucks is
they're a national,
all about consistency. I mean,
Right, and they want the same experience at each store. So
they want the same
where
crap
are your
everywhere you
national
go.
craft brews that they're going to be able to distribute everywhere?
There's Coors.
Yeah, they could
Yeah,
do they
Coors.
could
Blue,
Blue
they could do
Moon,
Blue
Shock
Moon.
Top,
Shock Top, Blue Moons,
Sam Adams, Sierra Nevada at this point.
Yeah, Sierra
I mean,
Nevada would be okay. That would be a positive choice in that list.
I could see them, maybe doing something with Deschutes, because Deschutes does have national distribution, or pretty close to national distribution.
They're not in the Northeast yet. God damn it!
They don't have nearly the capacity to supply something like Starbucks.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Is, if you let each store pick its own local brews and be delivered locally, then it's one thing. But if you're going to do a national consistent type thing, now you've got to have serious output of beer.
But the beer distribution laws vary from state to state.
Yeah.
So they may just say, you get whatever beer you get from your distributor. Pick something that's whatever you can get. And same thing for wine, because they said wine and beer. Wine, most of the wines they can get, probably distributed nationally, depending on who they hook up with. Maybe they'll hook up with Costco and have Gallo wines. Yeah, Gallo. Although Gallo does have some smaller labels that produce some better wines. But there are a lot of wineries out there like Fetzer, who's pretty big, who has a lot of national distribution, and they have some small labels that make good wine. So I think they can pull it off, and I think they can turn it into a viable business. But to me, like you said, they have to have the right beer and the right combination of things.
I think so.
And it's not going to appeal to everybody.
And it definitely makes sense to be limited marketing, at least in the beginning, because I'm imagining the one in Webster. There is one Starbucks in Webster, but I can't, and it's tucked in between a Subway and a Burger King, and I just can't imagine it becoming a bar over there at the same time.
Yeah, it's not a bar.
Kind of not the bar. That's not really the crowd they're going for, though. They kind of want that late night coffee or wine drinker where people can choose between. So it is kind of a different atmosphere. So maybe it would work in Webster.
Although I think you nailed it when you mentioned after work. This seems like a after work happy hour kind of plan.
Yeah, I think that's what they're shooting for, because like you said, they have to keep these stores open. They're paying rent on that real estate no matter what their hours are.
It's true.
And so, I mean, to maximize their dollars they're spending on rent, cost of employees is cheap compared to rent.
And how else are you going to sell a $10 macaroni and cheese appetizer?
That's true.
You've got to get people drunk to be able to be interested in that.
Speaking of getting drunk, I'm moving on.
All right, sweet, nice transition.
I've moved on to speaking of Deschutes, their Pine Drops IPA, which is a seasonal beer. It's one of their Bond Street series. So the history of Deschutes, they started as a small brew pub in Bend on a street called Bond Street, and even today they will brew beers that are brewed still at the brew pub, not at their major production facility, and they'll test them at the brew pub, or now they do this in Portland as well because they have a brew pub there. And they kind of test them out there and see how they do and see how people like them, and then if they do well, they move them into production. So Pine Drops is one of those beers that got moved into production.
Cool.
It is. I'm trying to see what the ABV is on this. Well, it doesn't really matter at this point. It's an IPA.
Who cares?
So that's what I'm drinking. It's a lighter. I don't know if you can see the body. It's a lighter bodied IPA that got poured into a habanero glass. So here we go. Here's the drops. This is a good one. The Deschutes, when they do the regular IPA is good, but I really like their specialty ones. This has a lot of
6.5 ABV.
6.5. Thank you. Man, after having that habanero, the bitter aftertaste of this is really coming through, like more than normal. Oh, but this is a solid 8. Like I said, I've had plenty of these beers before. It's a great, really refreshing, a lot of pine flavor in this beer. It's a really, really good kind of spring seasonal into summer seasonal beer. There's really good on a warm day, very refreshing, a very clean and crisp IPA taste with those heavy pine flavors in. And tonight, a lot of bitterness compared to the habanero.
Yeah, well, that could just be the contrast.
Yeah.
I don't normally like the piney kind of florally IPAs. I much prefer the citrus ones, but
This isn't.
I have loved everything by Deschutes that you've sent me, so I'm sure that would be a good beer.
I think I have one bottle. If I have a bottle of this left, I'll send it to you. My phone just died. I was trying to check into my beer on Untapped. If I have a bottle of this, I'll send it to you because this is a good one. It's not the really heavy floral IPA. It's more of that, like you're literally like you're standing in the middle of a Pacific Northwest forest, and if you can taste that, that's
there's
kind
something
of
to that. There's no doubt.
Yeah, it's kind of that taste. This is exactly the beer that I wish I should drink this when I go camping up in Bend because this is the beer that to me is the flavor of that camping experience. Although I usually have lots of other beers while I'm there, but this is that kind of really rich, foresty flavors. It's really good. If you can find it, go get it.
Yeah, I wish Deschutes would distribute out here. That's one of the ones I look for now. But no, not yet. Not to the Northeast yet. So
Jeremy, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Lagunitas Equinox, which they describe as a genuine pale oat ale, whatever that means.
I do like oak aging.
Blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah. Pale ale. Blah blah blah. Oaked barrels. Blah, blah,
their
blah.
notes are
delicious.
weird.
You cannot read a Lagunitas bottle.
No, I know.
All I can read is 8%. It's got that dog on it. He looks stoned.
Well,
For a reason.
But this is another, it's a great Lagunitas. Lagunitas is always good about making hoppy beers. They do that well. And this is a pretty clear and light looking beer, but it's got nice body, it's hoppy. It's good. It's a solid Lagunitas. I'm going to give it an 8.
Favorite pale ale, because that's what they bill it as, is a pale ale, right?
No, regular pale ale should be more malt than hops. So that's interesting that they brewed a hoppy pale ale.
Well, I think I like it because it's hoppy, but the malty characteristics really come through in that. And I hadn't had one before until this year, and I had one a few weeks ago, and I got it on tap somewhere, and I was just I was surprised. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll try this. It's pale ale. It's very different than their regular pale ale, their whatever the Dogtown pale ale. But yeah, after having it on tap, it is the best pale ale that I've had.
This Equinox?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, it's a good pale ale.
But like I said, I did have it on tap, so there's a little bit of a difference there.
Yeah.
Keith, how's your second round?
My apocalypse. Right now. I'm kind of. You can tell it's starting to sink in a little bit because I'm noticing things like, wow, the lacing is really quite beautiful, man. I'm kind of settling in. I should take a picture of that. That's really great. That lacing. That's kind of where I am. I am like 8/10 of my way through. And yes, I know that fraction can be reduced.
Well, if you know it can be reduced,
and I'm loving it. It's a wonderfully smooth. It's still not living up to the 100+ IBUs that's listed on the bottle, but damn, it's a good beer.
That beer to me
Definitely drink
it did not have the alcohol kick that I expected in the flavor. I thought it would be.
No, it's totally sneaky 9.9.
Yeah.
Listen, it tastes like a 5.9, and then it's just kind of once you get into ounce 18 of 22, it goes, oh.
By the way,
you're drunk. Haha! I fooled you.
Yeah, it is. It is sneaky.
Yeah. It usually when you get over 9%, you can taste the booze, but that one to me you can't, and it goes down.
No.
It goes down so easy.
It does. It goes down way too easy, really. The reason you can tell that it's the first warning sign that perhaps you realize that it is living up to its 9.9 is that your tongue goes numb and the roof of your mouth. And then you realize it's not the roof of your mouth that's numb, it's the entire part of your head from the top of your mouth to the back of your head that has all gone numb. And had I had any hair, I'm sure it would have gone flat at this point. It is a really great beer, though. I cannot recommend it enough. Recognize it enough.
You can't recommend it. You cannot recommend it because you're not capable at this point.
I'm not capable.
Speaking of not recommended, do we want to talk about one of these other topics we had?
Where are we time-wise? I have no idea. I should talk
we got about 25 minutes.
Oh, well then we got lots of time. Yeah, we should talk about something else.
Do you want to talk about BRICS?
Do I ever?
BRICS is an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa.
Oh. Because often on this show, I think, as we're coming to an end, damn it, I wish we had time to talk about BRICS.
We are an international show, so we should talk about BRICS.
But I don't really think I was thinking about it being an acronym. I was more thinking like the clay, earth, and blocks. So tell me why I would care about BRICS, the acronym.
So BRICS, the R in BRICS, which would be Russia, wants to develop alternatives to what they call proprietary or partly closed mobile operating systems, of which there are 2.5, iOS, Android, and Windows, right? It's kind of which are all, developed and controlled by American companies. Right. So Russia wants to develop, using open source tools, a mobile operating system that is not controlled by an American company. And their partners, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are expected to support the plan.
We are Russia. We have included you in our acronym. You will now comply.
So given that Brazil, soccer and girls and hardly wearing anything on their, what's the festival they do every year?
Shaved bits.
Yeah, that one. They can go party in Brazil. India, huge, technology resources there in India. China and South Africa. So, of those countries, would you trust a mobile operating system developed by a consortium of those countries? That's kind of the question, regardless of what it does or how fancy it is or what it runs on.
I would trust NSAOS.
NSAOS.
Okay, so acronym boy, please explain. Let's pretend I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and you.
Well, you may not at the moment. So NSA is the National Security Administration that likes to spy on everybody around the world, including citizens of its own country.
Yep.
If they could have their own OS, it would report everything back that you do all the time, forever. And it would have algorithms to predict what you're going to do next, so they could wait for you and arrest you. So I would trust an OS developed by them as much as I would trust this Russia-China thing. So no.
Yeah.
If they're serious about developing an open source thing, why would they not just take on one of the existing open source programs that's doomed to fail and just decide to support that?
Oh, Firefox is doing a mobile OS, and Ubuntu is doing a mobile OS.
Ubuntu has a mobile OS. Both of these are free open source projects. Ubuntu actually looks pretty promising.
Yeah, and if they wanted to get behind, if they wanted to throw some
get
cash
behind one of those.
Stuff,
don't try to develop your own and just draft other semi-socialist countries into it. grab one of those and support it, and then you kind of have my thing. Although it's Ubuntu is still controlled by a mostly American company. I think they're mostly American. Maybe they're not. I'm not sure now that I think about it. But at least at that point, it's still an open source thing. So you can have anybody from any country look into it and see that it's legit.
And the fact that they're not backing something like that makes me even more suspicious of what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I'm not buying the open source and the the SaaS-ness of it.
Yeah, and one of the reasons that they cite in this article as a possible driver is Russia's growing fears over American surveillance, as Jeremy was talking about earlier. To me, this is like what worries me and scares me about it is that if they're talking about it being open source, is that they try to seek stuff into existing open source projects that are exploits for their hackers or their governments to spy on us the way that they assume the NSA is spying on them. So that's kind of what scares me about it being an open source type of project, is that they might actually try to use this as a way to put malware into existing open source projects like Ubuntu or these other OSs that are out there.
Well, that's the thing, though, is you're going to have a hard time sneaking that into a truly open source project, because everybody else will see it. And even if they don't know what it does, they will recognize it as something that they don't know what it does and why is it in here.
I guess that could be.
That's the
Possibly,
whole...
although, man, that's look at what happened with Heartbleed. It took years for somebody to find that.
Yeah,
that wasn't even malicious.
Yeah, that is exactly the kind of example I was looking at.
I don't know. I mean, that's the whole brilliance of open source, is that anybody can get in there and look at it. So as long as it's got popular backing.
But will they?
Well, that's the thing. It's got to have popular backing, and now you're talking about something that maybe doesn't.
So what they're looking at, what they're looking at is
what?
Who am I? Sailfish. Have you guys heard of this thing, Sailfish? That's what they're talking about. Is their operation. So they're looking at Sailfish as an open source, which is an open source mobile OS developed by a Finnish company which apparently has like a less than 1% market saturation in Russia. They refer to it as an almost known international company.
Yeah, right. That's about right.
So apparently they're going to try to influence or use this Sailfish, which I've never heard of. So
I've kind of heard of Sailfish. It was one of the things Nokia was kicking around, I think, before it gave up on Windows.
So
isn't it? I think it may be like some ex-Nokia employees that built Sailfish.
It might be something like that. So yeah, I think we're all in consensus that a Russian-developed open-source mobile operating system, we might as well just post our credit cards and social security numbers online for everybody to have.
Yeah.
Da.
Yeah. Da. Yes. Da.
Comrade OS. We all share.
OS, those who need it first.
Oh, yeah. So we got about 15 minutes left, and we have one other very minor topic that I think we all need to at least pay a little bit of homage to.
All right, homage it up, and then we got to go to picks.
Today, like I said, Cindy, you're welcome.
I'm upset that I'm out. Like
Did you finish it?
I finished it. Yes, it's gone.
Wow.
It's gone.
So today is National Cougar Juice Day, or National Chardonnay Day.
Cougar juice. That's gross.
You just now got that?
Yes,
you don't read the doc. That's right.
No, I didn't read the doc, and I'm a little slow right now.
Yeah.
You can be a little slow till like tomorrow afternoon.
It's a good day to be slow.
Yeah. So yeah, it's some kind of wine which I don't drink and don't care to drink if I could drink these. So
actually,
yeah, here's to everybody
celebrating. Chardonnay is my preferred white wine. Well, although I do not like the the trend of stainless steel aging. I prefer oak barrel aging for my Chardonnays. But
So
anyway,
Keith is a
So
cougar.
Keith, can you roar
I
for
am a
us?
cougar. I am a cougar.
Can you roar for us? I'm.
And cougar juice means something entirely different to me. So
Come on, roar. Let's hear that. Let's hear that.
Do you have some bumper music to get us to picks, Keith?
oh, pick. Yes, here we go.
I only said that because I wanted to see if he was capable.
I am capable. Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, volume's not up. Hang on. Adjust. Tune. Ready? Somebody said that would be quick.
Oh, man.
Cat, smelly cat, what are they feeding you? Everybody! Smelly cat, it's not your fault.
Wow.
See, now, because that is the perfect spot to be Starbucks and beer. It was right there at Central
Smelly
Perk.
cat. Smelly
Central
cat.
Perk from Friends.
That might
Yep.
be the Starbucks
Playing
of sitcoms.
I hate to say it, but maybe Keith should go first.
Oh.
That's a fine idea, Keith. What's your quick pick?
My pick this week is almost lame. It's almost too lame to bring up, but I have to say it. I'm picking Verizon
Oh my god.
Wireless because against my better judgment and to my complete surprise, that when I went in last night with my wife's broken iPhone 4S that would not place text messages and would not make phone calls anymore, they actually hooked us up with a new 5S for her and a plan that cost us less than what we were paying before. And I was surprised that in typical cell phone carrier math, it actually costs more, but through the discounts they're offering currently, it's going to cost us $3 less a month, and we didn't have to pay anything out of pocket to walk out of the store with a new 5S and a 16 gigabyte. And
man,
I was
somebody's
very,
getting fired.
very pleased with that. Having to pay no money out of pocket and my bill going down $3 a month. So, oddly enough, as much as it pains me to actually admit it, I'm picking Verizon because, Oris at the Webster Verizon store did me a solid last night and hooked me up on the plan with the phone I wanted, and got us hooked up, and it's a telecom. I'm picking a telecom.
Wow.
That's funny because I after I could not do anything on my normal wireless connection, I turned on my Verizon thingy with the stuff with the whatever it's called, the jetpack.
The LTE and the hotspot.
The jetpack.
Yeah, the hotspot thing, and It's been pretty solid for me.
Yeah,
not that I
you've
would
been-
ever
you've
pick.
been
I would not pick
connected for a
Verizon
long
ever
time.
as a pick of the month, or a pick of the week, or a pick of the whatever.
Yeah.
But hey,
I mean, other than that, if you want a fun pick, the pick we had last week from Circles I've been obsessed with that. So
Oh, is that
that's fun,
Jeremy's pick?
that Jeremy picks from last week
All
is
right,
totally obsessed me. I love that game, and you totally don't have to pay for it.
no, you don't.
The whole point of the game is to see how far you can get, and on each run. So if you pay for it to extend your run artificially, you're actually cheating. So don't
I
pay
paid for it to get rid of the
Yeah,
ads, and I
I'm
haven't
just-
used any of the extensions
Stars.
yet, just because it's more fun. It's
Yeah,
more
don't-
fun if
don't-
you just
don't
go
use-
as far as you
Don't
can.
use the stars. The idea is the game. At least the game as I'm playing it is you start it at circle number 1 and see how far you can get before you're out.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
And I think my farthest is somewhere around 50 right now.
Nice.
So I'm pretty happy with
All
that.
right. I'll have to pick that up.
It's a worthwhile game.
Pick it up. It's a pick of the week.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you, Alex.
so, Jeremy, do you have another iOS app you want to pick?
I do not. But I have a street photographer that I would like to pick. This guy is named Alex Sturrock. He's based in London, and his photography is not the London you know. there's a link. There'll be a link in the show notes to a Vice article about him, and it is definitely not the London I've seen. It is
What's his name?
Alex Sturrock, Sturrock. If you look at, well, no, you won't look at the document, but
No, I'm not looking at the document. 'Cause I don't do that. But I
yeah,
am looking
I
at
was
Alex
blown
Sturrock.
away by his photography. It's I mean, I don't know how to describe it. It's raw. It's some of it's a little tough to look at, but it's it's the real deal. Check it out, Alex Sturrock, and there'll be a link in the show notes.
Yeah, I'm definitely more of the real side of a city as opposed to what you get in a tourist info brochure or something.
Yeah. Here, Keith. If you can find your mouse.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Yeah, look.
You can find your mouse.
I found my mouse.
Oh.
I was looking at his images on Google Plus, which are a lot of images of him, which he's an interesting looking dude too.
He's on Instagram too, and he doesn't post a whole lot, so good guy to follow, and you won't get overwhelmed with stuff.
Yeah.
I'm recently kind of revisioning street photography myself, not as doing it, but I'm in a new job, so I'm setting up new computers and stuff, and we're thankfully I say on Windows 7 because my last job was Windows XP.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know, scary. But we're on Windows 7. Windows 7 allows you to have a slideshow for your background image that changes every so often. So I'm doing my normal thing, which is creating dual screen monitor background images of my work, but also I've been going through Jeremy's work and Jeremy's Brooks, this guy right here. Street photography is quite compelling.
He's
and has made it onto my monitor in more than one place. So if I had to do a supplemental pick, it would be Jeremy Brooks photography. Also,
that might end up in the show notes.
It should be. It absolutely should be. You do some amazing street photography.
Yeah,
that doesn't get credited enough.
Oh yeah, there's some.
Although any guy who gets threatened on a regular basis for doing street photography is okay in my book.
Yeah.
So
I haven't been threatened since last Saturday.
Since last Saturday. Nice.
Well, that's good. The Jeremy's got some great shots of like people riding BART and stuff like that. Those to me I love those because it's like telling the story of this commuter that's doing whatever they're doing, but it's just I don't know, they're funny and poignant, and just capturing that instant in someone's daily life is really cool.
I agree totally, and a lot of people do pictures of homeless and stuff like that, and those are great. I'd love those too. The detail that you can get on someone who's really struggling face is, and if you can capture that, is amazing. But Jeremy does a good job of capturing the everyday worker, I think. The 9-to-5er, or the guy just trying to get past the street and get past this asshole with a camera. Anytime you can get that guy's expression, you're doing okay. And there's a lot of great work. And now they're in regular rotation on my desktop at Valiant, where I'm looking. So thank you.
So we're almost done. I'm off a geek, so I'll get my pick real quick. It's an app that I would show you if my iPhone battery hadn't died. But it's an app called RunPee, RUNPEE, and it is an app that tells you the best times to run and go pee while you're watching a movie.
I was trying to think to pee while you're running. What?
No,
Okay.
So you go to the movie theater, you get your 4 gallons of Coke in the jumbo thing, and you get to a point where you have to go to the bathroom, and as you get older, you have to go to the bathroom, right? Little kids, whatever, your kids can't hold it, whatever. So this app will tell you the at what point in the movie you can go, and then it provides a synopsis of what you're going to miss.
Nice.
And it does warn you, use your phone cautiously in movies. So it's kind of thing where you check it out beforehand and you look and say, okay, well, when I hear this line in the movie, I know it's a good time to go to run to the restroom. Or the other thing is if you want to refill your popcorn or something else like that. So there's a website, runp.com. You can go check it out. And so I was looking at it, and I wanted to check out a couple of movies that are out now to kind of see how it works and how it compares. And so I looked at the Avengers and saw the times where it said that you could run P, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's a good time. Kind of like slower things where they're just kind of trying to move plot forward. Looked up Mad Max Fury Road, and the interesting thing was it's pretty much said you can go anytime. You might miss an explosion, but otherwise you're good.
That is so. It's really
The
interesting.
internet,
That
all
movie's
of the pundits, the
divisive.
New York freaking Times is praising Mad Max Fury Road. But Gary is the last holdout on the internet that says Mad Max sucks. Don't bother to go see it.
Anytime.
I know some people in San Francisco who are. I mean, I kind of respect their opinion. They're like the kind of modern punk maker, rebel kind of people, right? Like fly their drones and do all this cool stuff, and they're saying really good things about it.
I love that drones are the new hipster thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Nice.
I got to play with the. I didn't get to play with the drone. I got to see a drone in action on Saturday. We were working with some friends doing some video shoots, and a guy brought a drone to do this very specific shot. Man, those things are cool. They are so cool.
Have you guys seen that new one that
It's just a matter of time before I have a drone.
I saw this. I don't have a link on my page right now, but it's a drone that you wear, like it has a little hockey puck size thing that you can wear on your wrist or carry in your pocket or whatever,
yeah.
and it will follow you.
Uh-huh.
And to launch it, you just throw it up in the air, and it like realizes that it's been thrown, and it launches, and it'll just start following you.
Yeah, it's the selfie drone.
Yeah,
I saw it at CES last year, and it works amazingly well.
There's a
it is.
video out there for it. I was watching. It looks actually really good. It's $500, and it flies for like 20 minutes. It looks really cool. So
yeah, it's that thing you wear on your wrist, and when you're about to do something awesome, you throw it up in the air. It will film you because it will follow you in your actions, and then it will be done, and then you're done with it.
And it's got a mode that it will like circle you. So one of the examples they showed was like a group family shot, and they were all standing there like waving at the camera, and the drone was circling around them.
Yeah.
I could see that being really useful if it had like a real-time stream to the internet thing in the situation where, and I read a lot of paranoia novels like Dr. Owen Stevenson and stuff, but imagine the future where everything is illegal and the cops are everywhere, and you just throw this drone up in the air and document everything around you.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Well, in that case, you'd have to have a real-time stream because otherwise they would just confiscate it.
Right.
So,
Which that could that's got some story written all over it right there.
Yeah,
if I was an author.
Yeah.
So
and I didn't have too much beer.
J.C. Hutchins, you listening?
Yeah.
Pay attention to that one. There you go. There's your nugget. Start a story.
I'm on Alex Sturrock's website looking at his photos of Justin Bieber from 2010, and this is really good stuff. And Justin Bieber's not something I care the least about, but he's got these shots. Like Justin Bieber visits London, right? And so he's showing like the fans and the crowd and all. It's good stuff.
That Pine Drops is sneaking up on you.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Well, the habaneros aren't helping it any either.
No, but it's like the street photography of what happens when Justin Bieber comes to town.
That could be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not. They're not like model shots of Justin Bieber.
And I will definitely pursue it, but we gotta bail.
Yeah, we're out of here.
It's a hard out on Alpha Geek anyway.
Good night, Alpha Geek.
Good night, Alpha Geek. But I'm gonna play the closing music.
I'm better and longer than I'll take a strong stout over stride. I prefer to confer with a half pint of ale and live a long life till my private parts fail. For life without liquor
was going to have a witty little ender here like Rob usually does, but I can't think between Starbucks and drones what I want to say.
Good night, fans.
Fan, singular.
Fan singular. Good night. Stop. Stop broadcast. Stop. For God's sake, stop the broadcast. I can't press the button.
We're going to be live streaming all night because Keith can't manage the button.
Well, I'm going to stop Alpha Geek because I could do that. So, good night, Alpha Geek. But I can't seem to stop the hangout. It's like when I press the left click, it's right clicking it. So,
Use your other left.
I can use my other
So
left.
glad I paid the money to ship that beer to Keith.
I wish you would have shipped him too.
It's such a good beer. It's so good. I can't stop the show. The show will not end.
Oh my god.
Oh God.
So everyone, stay tuned, and you will see Keith fall asleep on his computer.
No, I'm gonna walk away at some point. I don't know when the show will stop.
You'll walk away tomorrow morning.
Just shut
It's gonna
down your
be our-
computer.
It's gonna be the first ever 4+ hour download, but the last 3 hours are just gonna be a shot of my my shot behind me here.
All right. With that being said, I think I'm going to go have some dinner now.